Did you know a haircut could be your secret to closing your next MSP deal? My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com, and I am going to tell you why a haircut is vitally important for your success to closing it could be your first deal, it could be your 100th deal in the MSP world. But a lot of people think that, you know what, a haircut's just a haircut, and I'm going to prove you wrong. Before I get into today's video, I do want to mention a couple quick things. Number one, masterclass, as always, down in the links below. Also, if you have watched some of my other videos, or you've been a subscriber, or if you're not a subscriber, which you should be, there's a bunch of really helpful links down below. Just YouTube videos that I've created that people that I reference all the time, but also people find really, really, really valuable. Number two, there's a giveaway. There will be a link down below. If you're interested in getting in that giveaway, go click that link. That's it. It's pretty straightforward. Other than that, we're going to dive directly into today's video. But I just woke up this morning. I said, you know what? I need a haircut. Hair's a little long. The grays are coming in, unfortunately. And I like being a clean cut person. I let the hair grow out sometimes, but never more than maybe a week and a half, at most 2 weeks. And why am I sharing all of this with you? I learned very early on in my sales career that your first impression matters massively. And I realized that actually on days that I felt confident about myself, I closed more deals. I don't know exactly the psychology of why that works or how that whole thing works. But what I can tell you, and I feel like I'm making like a Gillette commercial, when you look the best, you perform the best. And there is a correlation between looking the best and your level of performance. Now, we are in sales, but at the same time, we still have to perform. Our job in sales, or in the MSP world, is closing larger and larger deals to bring in more revenue, giving you the cash to hire employees and consistently scale and grow over time. So I already mentioned it. The first and foremost and most important thing is first impressions matter. If you walk into a room full of business professionals, you see somebody with the comb over, you see somebody clean cut, and then you see a scruffy, ragged dude who probably doesn't look like they've either ever seen a barbershop or they just look grungy and dirty. More often than not, as bad as it sounds, most people are going to make an immediate impression of that person doesn't take care of themselves, doesn't even want to put the time, energy, and effort in some self-maintenance, some self-cleaning, some self-preservation before they go out, and when they're going out and making these kinds of interactions with people to hopefully end up with a stack of business cards that they can say, hey, you know what, I need to call these people and see if I can get meetings on the calendar. But right off the bat, first impressions really do matter. You don't have to look like the best person in the room. You just can't look like you just rolled out of bed 15 minutes ago and came to the meeting with a wrinkly shirt, your hair's not appropriately done. Heck, if you don't like doing your hair, keep it short. This is easy. All I gotta do is shower you. There's no comb over, no gel. If you're gonna go with the flow and you got long, luscious locks, which I am very jealous of, just clean it up. I'm not saying you need to put it in a ponytail, but there's ways to dress that up and dress it down. Dress it up a little bit for your meetings. Those first impressions will matter tremendously, especially if you're out at your Chamber of Commerce meetings, your professional networking like LaTip and BNI, and any other interaction, especially if you go in for a sales meeting. You want to be clean cut, ready to go, feel good. Number two, it's going to end up boosting your confidence. And I've talked about it multiple times on this channel. If you are not confident in your sale, it's going to make that sale much, much harder. Now, in the beginning, when you're first starting out, you need to put all of the cards in your favor. It is incredibly important. I'm not saying you need to go out and get a haircut before you go to every single meeting, but you want to look cleaned up, professional, and ready to go, especially for that first hopeful sale. After you get that sale, you want to relax it down a little bit and, that's okay. But that first step in boosting your self-confidence and making you feel good when you're about to go talk about something that we are all inherently uncomfortable with, money. So why not stack those odds in your favor, build up your self-confidence, and know that you look good. Now all you got to do is perform. The looking good part is easy. That's already been done this morning. Now you have to go in, talk to tech, get in there, find what the actual problems are and how you might be able to solve these problems. When you do that and you feel good about it and you build up that confidence, people see that confidence. And when they see your confidence in yourself and your ability to have either you or your company execute on what you're trying to sell, it gives that customer reassurance and feels good to them that they know that if they do sign a contract, they are with the right person. I can tell you confidently, every time I went out for a sale, especially a big sale, I was as clean cut as I could be. I would actually prep the night before and get, do the haircut, the whole nine. So that way it was one less thing I had to stress about the next morning. Number 3 is what grooming actually does to us. I know it sounds kind of crazy. I'm not a psychologist, but what I can tell you is when you go out and you get a haircut, not only do you feel good, but it's like, I did something super successful. It's one less piece of stress, one less thing of mental weight that you have to carry around. There's a reason why Mark Zuckerberg wears only gray shirts and like jeans, because decision fatigue, granted he is at the highest level, whether or not you like the man or not, things like that do matter. And if you have to think about your hair's driving you crazy or you're going to the meeting and you're like, oh, it's not as good as it should be, that little bit of stress could be the one thing that's not letting you perform your best in that meeting because you're thinking about it. Simple things like self-grooming, brushing your teeth, grabbing a piece of gum on the way there, making sure you have a drink. In this case, I have coffee this morning. Those are little things that are going to help give you just little bits of confidence all the way through, giving you the best opportunity for success. And that's really what it's all about, is closing that deal. Number 4 is it's part of your personal brand. Everyone knows for the most part that I am nearly bald. I keep my hair super, super short. I have always had a clean shaven face. In the fire department, I was not allowed to have facial hair. You were allowed to have a mustache. I don't look that good with a mustache, but every once in a while I bring it back. It's just part of who you are. I don't wear a hat. I don't wear any jewelry for the most part. Sometimes a watch, especially if I got to dress it up a little bit. But other than that, that's who I am. Everyone knows that. If I walked into a room full of all my friends and family and I had a flat brim hat on, or heck, maybe hair or a mustache or a beard, I promise you somebody is going to say something, good, bad, or indifferent. I have built my personal brand about being basically hairless from the neck all the way up. Think about how you build your personal brand. I actually have a coaching client, and you know who you are, with a 10 out of 10 beard. I'm not saying you need to shave your beard for work. It's fine to have facial hair and long hair. Just clean it up, make it look good, and he nails it. Things like that really do matter. And when you find something that works for you, whether that is a gray beard, a bald head, hair that's always parted to a certain way or combed over, or you got that fancy little line that goes over here, I don't know what it's called because I don't get haircuts. I don't pay for other people to cut hair, and my hair never gets that long. I just do it myself. It's much easier. I'm giving so much personal information. I appreciate this. And by the way, hit that like button and that subscribe button, that little notification bell. But those things become a part of your brand. And it's really, really important to start thinking about, yes, your brand might be XYZ company. My company is Growth Generators, growth-generators.com. But when people know what to expect, you're clean cut, you're always ready, you dress like a professional, collared shirts, button downs. I'm at home. I don't go out in the public for the most part anymore. But when I didn't wear button downs. You don't have to wear a button down, but you want to look put together and professional. Company logo on a polo. You guys have seen that I wear, long pants, Cole Haan shoes, or some other kind of more business dressed up, not so much sneaker, but not quite dress shoe, but you can rock dress shoes too. If you're curious to know how to hold yourself next time you go to a local Chamber of Commerce meeting or LaTip or BNI, there's usually 2 people that are very well dressed. Almost always financial advisors and either bankers or attorneys, one or the other. Banks have started to recently pull the strings a little bit and relax. one of those two is usually dressed as a professional, but there's plenty of other people to look for. If you see someone you're like, that person looks really put together, start to try to look at what makes them put together, and maybe you want to mimic something like that. And number 5 is you never know when you're going to be on camera. You never know when you're going to have to give a talk. You never know when you're going to have to do something in the public eye. Or you might just be getting case studies out there where you're like, hey, do you mind if I take a quick little selfie 1-minute video? You bring your camera out and you say, hey, this is Harrison from XYZ company, and this is so-and-so. We are helping them with their IT services. Do you mind telling the people 30 seconds what we did and why you like working with us? Okay, go. There's no getting ready. There's no makeup. There's none of that. You have to be ready to go all of the time. It's just the bare minimum you should be doing to succeed in your sale. Sales is directly correlated with confidence. If you walk in there, shoulders slumped, not ready, not feeling good, not feeling yourself, and not giving yourself the opportunity to stand up and say, hey, it's time to crush it, you got to rethink and say, it's time to either shave, trim down, whatever it is that you plan on doing, putting together, going out and getting a new outfit, something that is going to give you your best opportunity to crush that sale when you're in that meeting. So I hope this video helps. I hope that, your first impression matters. You've boosted some self-confidence, the psychology of why it's actually important. You've built that personal brand, and you never know what's going to happen in your sales meetings. There's always opportunity. You might be in a sales meeting and they have cameras all around, and they wanted, or you're in a conference room and it was recording you the entire time so they can review it. You don't want them to look at you and be like, oh, you know what? He looks like a nice guy, but he just doesn't look put together well. And that might talk about his services. Maybe they're not going to be that well put together. They're not going to be that ready for it. I don't know if they're the best option. It might be 2 exact same sales. One of the people doesn't look cleaned up and ready, and the other person does. The person that does, everything else goes the same, is going to get the deal 100% of the time. So if you've made it this far, I hope you hit that like button. I hope you hit that subscribe button, the little notification bell. If you haven't grabbed the masterclass already, there's a masterclass on how to make significantly more business or more money for your MSP down in the description down below. Grab the giveaway. I'll see you guys later.